Hello and welcome to this special broadcast. Well, Oil India Limited has been playing a pioneering role in pushing sports talent and nurturing sports culture from the grassroots. From training athletes to hiring them, Oil has built a unique ecosystem for the sports sector, and they have been driving the entire sports sector from the very grassroots, being involved with the respective state governments, district associations, among others. Today, I have with me a very special guest. He is the Executive Director of Oil India, HR and FA, Mr. Madhurjya Barua. A very warm welcome to you, Mr. Barua, to our studios in Northeast Live. But let me tell you, that is not his only introduction. The person sitting next to me is also a badminton legend from Assam. Mr. Barua, welcome to the show. Before we go into Oil India Sports Push, tell us a little bit about your badminton career and those days where you represented the nation even in foreign shores. People are really excited to know this, and of course your journey to Oil, how you joined Oil, and now you are at one of the top positions, Executive Director from a sports hiring. There is also something that is if I may be honest, rare, and if I am not mistaken, very recently you have been awarded as one of the top 10 HR leaders in the country. So, a man of many hats, and he has achieved a lot, but foremost a badminton legend. Welcome, sir.
Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to be here speaking to all of you, and of course always I'm happy to share my views to my audience, to the public and the sports persons of the state. First and foremost, I am a former badminton player, as you said. My journey started way back in late 80s when I started my badminton game in Kanakata Stadium, Nehru Stadium in Guwahati, and from then, of course, I have not looked back. 80s. 82 when I became sub-junior national champion, then 85 junior national champion, then 89, 90 onwards I remained Indian number 1 in senior category. So it's been a long journey, and having played with our legends like Prakash Padukone, former our All England winner, then Syed Modi, all these legends, I have gained much experience. Then my actually the break came when I decided to move to Delhi. To join the Sriram College of Commerce only on the sports quota. My idea is to go to Delhi, play with better players and get an exposure. So that paid me off. Of course, that I took a risk, of course, going away from home, but yes, it did pay off. I got better practice there, and I could grow. And from there on, I didn't look back. I went into the Indian team. I broke the Indian team. As a junior, then went into seniors, and it's been a very, very eventful and long journey, and of course, very happy.
Absolutely. It's not often that we find someone who has himself joined from a sports quota, himself has represented the nation at the highest level, talking about the CSR responsibilities of a company as far as sports is concerned, and talking about nurturing sports person. Tell me about your journey within Oil first. You also joined through the sports quota. How has your experience been?
It's been a wonderful journey with Oil India Limited. I'll go a little back. In fact, I joined ONGC way back in 1989 first. Then I came to Oil. And I've been associated with the hydrocarbon sector since then. Being a sports person, the general tendency in companies, hydrocarbon sector, any companies, is that when you at the hem of affair, when you are playing for the country or at the top, of course you are respected, you are being looked after properly. But as you grow, as you age, they tend to fade away. Our difference was, when I say ours, we have a couple of sports people in Oil whom we have been associated with the company. We got ourselves associated with the mainstream business of the company, mainstream administration of the company, by virtue of our own interest of doing job for the company, and that paid off. In fact, when we got associated into the administration, into the HR, the management has accepted us very well and gave us responsibilities.
Absolutely.
And that responsibilities multiplies as you grow in the organization. You are looked after. First, you are looked after as a sports person. Then you are respected as an able administrator. So here, a couple of sports people who are there in Oil India Limited, we all are doing very well across different sectors in their own domains. So it is because of our own interest in the administration of the company and in the management affairs of the company. So we understand what company wants and we try to give our best as far as possible from our side.
That also busts the myth that sports persons are always seen as sports persons in companies and probably sounds harsh sometimes, not given too many responsibilities. But you are an example of how a sports person has reached the top of the ladder, if I may say, and there are many others like you in oil, and that's great news for everyone who is looking at the sports quota to land a job. Now let's talk about oil's journey in Assam, as in the way they have been nurturing, promoting sports from the grassroots level. What are the key grassroots initiatives? There are many, there are several, and what are the most important grassroots initiatives according to you taken by the company?
See, Oil India Limited is a name synonymous with the people of Assam and Northeast. And everyone knows Oil India Limited, what Oil India has been doing for this part of the country. We are a Maharatna now. From now, since about 2 years back, we were Navaratna, we became Maharatna.
Yeah.
Now, if you say the journey of Oil India Limited started way back in 60s, when we started our operation there in extreme part of the northeastern part. Now, the journey when it began, of course, Duliajan being the field headquarters, we were based out of, we started operating from there. And in fact, in early 70s or late 70s, the sports scenario, the atmosphere is created in Assam by Oil India Limited by virtue of developing different sports infrastructure across Assam, especially on the upper Assam side, and also recruiting top sports people of that point of time, especially in football, because football being one of the most popular game across Assam and the Northeast, Oil India started focusing in football and recruiting people from rural populace and making the oil team. Now, if you say the Oil India football team, which we proudly say Oil India FC now, is one of the top-notch club of this country. Now, the journey of the oil football has a very long journey since it started way back in 70s. So we had legends in football like Swadhin Dekaraja, everybody was in football. So, and typically so, when our seniors, the sports seniors were there in the team, then and there, somewhere in 80s, when actually the formally CSR concept came. Prior to CSR, it was public affairs. Okay. So we used to go to, public relation. We used to go to the fields and we used to go to locations, look for players, look for people who would, help the company to perform. But over a period of time, we sports people realized that we need to contribute to the company's growth. So our seniors also taught us the same way, that once you are involved deeply into the administration, sports administration or general administration, the company will grow. So we bring in those people, we bring in those talent from rural populace and bring it to the forefront. We give them a platform to flourish. And from that platform, there are a lot of sports people, especially in football and other sports, which is popular in Upper Assam and Assam, have grown to the international level. So oil always has been giving a platform to the sports fraternity, developing the sports ecosystem of the state for many, many decades now.
And legends are made only when a company consistently backs a particular discipline, consistently backs particular athletes. It takes time. Legends are not made overnight. What do you say? Correct. Since the 1970s? So the company is genuinely interested in promotion of sports. That's why it has been able to create legends, isn't it?
Absolutely, absolutely. It's like my predecessors. my seniors who were there in during late 70s and early 80s and 90s were actually deeply involved in promotion of sports. They have been, promoting sports persons. They have been encouraging sports in the rural populace in such a way that, because for example, 2-3 we have got players who will go deep into a rural populace, and they will organize volleyball tournaments inside a rural populace, in a football tournaments inside a deep inside a in a rural area, where the entire village will get excited, and we will find 5-6 very good players from there. From there we bring in those players. So ultimately we, the seniors, are responsible to handhold them, bring them, give them a platform, and allow them or giving an opportunity to them to grow to national, state or national or international level.
Absolutely, and sports is one sector through which you are also bringing societal changes.
Correct. Yes.
It's coming to the aid of the villages, coming to the aid of the rural sector, and it's not just sports. Oil India has a lot of other activities, but today we are specifically discussing sports. Do you think sports is one sector, of course, which has made the most impact in connecting with the masses, the company connecting with the masses?
Being in the corporate world, being in the hydrocarbon sector, which is a core area of today's, it has got a massive impact in the societal. Sports is one area through which a company connects with the populace. It connects with the stakeholders, the societal stakeholders. So there is a trust building. So we sports people are always very eager to go into the forefront, okay, and we are go-getters. Sports persons will always, you'll see they are always at the forefront, and they will lead any kind of atmosphere. So when an hydrocarbon company go to a rural area for operation, and the requirement of the land and logistic supports and other things, I feel the sports people are in Oil India Limited, our sports people are leading from the front, going first to the village, talking to the stakeholders, in fact to the district administration, and getting the platform ready for the technical team to move in. So there, ultimately this is a commitment of our sports people to the organization and contribution, massive contribution to the growth of the company. Now having said so, I would say that in the rural populace of Assam and the Northeast, in fact, I would proudly say we have got placed sports people across the crucial locations, across different states and different forums, wherein we are coordinating for the company, we are interacting with the society, the stakeholders for the company to make it comfortable for the company. You
have an entire ecosystem in place. That's great to hear. Sports departments would love to adopt that approach, a great approach. It's not just identifying athletes, also oil has been helping in sports infra building. It's not easy, it comes at a cost, and the company is ready to spare that cost. That speaks volumes of its commitment towards the growth and development of sports.
Yes. Oil India has been in the forefront. Oil India has been leading from the front to develop sports infra across the state, now of course the country. So the rural infra, sports infra is was in a very shambles state around 20 years back. Now over a period of time, of course with the help of government of Assam and other stakeholders, we are slowly building the rural sports infra at different levels, including the stadiums, the grounds are being prepared at modern level, the galleries are being prepared, the infra inside the infra are being prepared, proper atmosphere is given, the indoor stadiums are prepared, the swimming pools are prepared, the shooting grounds are prepared. So now once you give a proper infra, once you create a proper infrastructure, the genuine sports people, the talented sports people, they get a platform, they get a venue to perform from where they flourish. At the same time, it is not only infra, we also create coaches. It's basically hand-holding to those seniors who are on the verge of retirement or
coaching
have
the coaches.
retired. Coaching the coaches. So we bring in those players on board, and we handhold them so that they can help the next generation players to perform, they coach. So, we have built an entire ecosystem with a planned manner in the entire Northeast, especially in Assam, so that our, if you see for last almost 20 years or so, we have got a lot of good sports persons coming up from Assam. So, these are the results of the efforts which has been on for last 2 decades or so.
As oil tries to expand to newer areas in the Northeast, newer places, unexplored places, do you think sports can be a unifier and connect the company to the people, to the masses, be a confidence builder? It's a big statement to make, but well, people in Northeast love their sports.
Absolutely, yes. We are in fact doing it. As I said, this has been a practice in oil, and we are proud to say that we sports people in oil are always in the forefront. Now, when we go ahead and connect with people, when there are certain missing links in terms of operations, when my technical team needs to go to a field and start operation, before that a lot of grounds has to be created, the platform has to be created. So, we are the one. In fact, we have got other with the HR team, the sports people join and we move ahead and coordinate with the stakeholders at different forums at different levels and make the ground, prepare the ground so that actual the logistic team, the technical team move ahead. So, as you said correctly, a sports person is always on the forefront and they are happy and willing to help any kind of operations of the company in oil.
Welcome back. I'm in a very interesting conversation with Mr. Madhurjya Barua. Mr. Barua, you're also collaborating with the Assam government as far as sports are concerned. Would you like to throw more light on that? What are the programs currently underway?
We are very closely associated with government of Assam in terms of sports promotion and development. I myself is a part of the advisory committee of the government of Assam in sports development. Then of course, recently we have established the Sports Center of Excellence under Avinav Bindra Foundation. We have tied out along with Government of Assam and Avinav Bindra Foundation. One of the most sophisticated center is created in Jorhat, wherein the sports people are getting proper training and the rehab mechanism. They get the opportunity to go for training, then rehab mechanism, and they can go and do the analysis of their body muscles, the mass, and at what level they need to perform and what kind of training they need to do based on that assessment done in those center of excellence. Their training chart is prepared and their coach takes forward their journey. So, it is a very professional system of making a sports person's career. And right from day one, a sports person is under observation and he has been kept properly under observation of a specialized technical people who are always assessing his muscle requirement relevant to his particular sports. So, it is a very sophisticated way of handling sports. So, we have started that. And of course, in Dibrugarh district, we have created a lot of stadiums. The main stadium in Dibrugarh, we have massive contributions. We are creating fields across the rural populace, especially in the area of Bagzan, Barekuri area in Tinsukia district and Dibrugarh district. So, indoor stadiums, swimming pools, shooting ranges, the outdoor stadiums are being created. So, over a period of time with an aim to help the sports persons to grow in their career.
Absolutely. And see, your kind of a job operations is full time and it's hectic. Despite that, the company has a policy and its top personnel are involved in planning these kind of activities. How difficult or easy it is? I'm sure it's not easy. And how do you manage it, just to balance these things and take care of so many things apart from the core operations?
Of course, very crucial. Having reached the position of executive director, I do need to look after a lot of affairs of the company. In fact, those departments like the HR learning, the tradings, the security, medical, all these departments are being, basically those service departments are being looked after directly by me. And it has been a challenge because there are a lot of demands. As the company grows, as number of employee grow, the aspiration comes in, and we need to fulfill on a daily basis. There are a lot of challenges on a daily basis, but yes, having my sports background and that experience of handling pressure, so I am very happy to say that I have been able to handle it very, very fruitfully and without much of issues. And this kind of positions, the challenge comes, when a person comes under pressure, his health deteriorates. So, we being sports people, we ensure that we remain active in sports, we are somewhere associated with different sports activities. So, we remain agile. So, that is how we maintain. I also, encourage my, fellow sports people, fellow colleagues in my departments to go for sports activities, to go for physical activities, so they remain active. So, it has been a win-win situation, of course, very happy atmosphere, successfully handling everything. Of course, I have a brilliant team, brilliant people across the company, and who are, it is a team effort, and everybody on board. So, we are able to do justice
absolutely
to the company.
a team effort. Mr. Barua, of course, we have been talking about how oil is directly involved in nurturing and spotting grassroots talents, but you also coordinate and cooperate with a lot of organizations and even clubs, associations where you are sponsoring, financing their training, their sports events. Now, financing something is one thing, we can finance any club, any organization, any association, but what is important is to see that every penny that we are paying is actually going to the development of sports. Do you also monitor that, or we just leave it to the club? I am sure there is a monitoring process.
It's like this, we appreciate there has been a lot of activities in Assam and the Northeast. We do sponsor sports event, not only sports event, other events also, cultural events also. But per se, if you specifically we come into sports event, we, of course, we have got segments like, one is organizing and sponsoring a tournament, whether I become an exclusive sponsor or a part sponsor, that is one. Number two, we assist financially the sports people to go out and train, that is training. So, and also third is the infrastructure, which we have already spoken. And when you come to sponsoring an event, it is very important for us that those people, those organizations who come to us with a proper proposal of, with a request to sponsor an event, first and foremost, it is very important for us that event is recognized under, like say, Assam Olympic Association or Indian Olympic Association, by the recognized bodies. It has to be approved event. So, that is number one. Number two, it needs to be, we would expect it to be a calendar event of the, state association or the national federation approved. So, once coming on board, bringing the tournament on board, so there are certain mechanisms we follow, like we decide on a sponsorship amount, we allow them to, we agree that okay, we will sponsor to this tune, and we allow them to go ahead with the sponsorship. They place our logo, do the marketing, they would advertise and other thing.
But of course, you ensure that they meet the basic criteria.
Correct.
That is very important.
Correct.
Lastly, we're running out of time. It's a very interesting conversation, but all interesting conversations have to end.
Yes.
What is your message to the budding athlete, the budding sports person of Assam, that oil is there for them? What is your reassurance?
Exactly, you are saying Oil India will remain for all of you. As it is, we have been there since decades, and we will remain relevant for the sports people and the sports development in Assam. My only message is, when you work for any organization, not only oil, you give your best to the organization in terms of sporting career, and also beyond your sporting career, get involved in the administration, with the management of the company or the organizations you are working for, and it is your responsibility to give it back to the organization after your retirement also.
Absolutely, and that's what you have always stood for. It was a pleasure, great pleasure talking to you, Mr. Barua, and
thank you so much
for your valuable information and updates about the CSR policies of oil as far as sports is concerned. Great talking to you.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure
Thank you.
for me too.
Thank you.
Thank you.